Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm your host, DJ Impact, and I have all of the bad boys here with me this evening. First off, we welcome everyone with being a part of our show. And we ask that if you have any comments, to definitely put them in the comments area in our live video section, and we will do our best to try to get them in when we can. So hello and welcome to all of you. We're going to start off here with our wrestling talk, and what better way than to start off than with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Finally, the G1 has come to an end, fellas. I mean, Sin City, let me just tell you, the winner again, second year, Kota, let me get this right here, Ibushi, defeating Sanada. Man, were you shocked to see? Say it again.
Was it a Hyundai?
Was it?
Oh my gosh. Jesus.
Well, I guess what you're doing is if this whole thing don't work out, you're working on your career in the comedy.
Stand up. We're in the perfect city for it, baby. Vegas.
Okay, Sin City. What were you shocked to see Kota end up taking the win this time?
Actually, when it came down to Sanada and Ibushi, I kind of saw the writing on the wall that Ibushi would win it for the second time in a row. Incidentally, Kota Ibushi is the third wrestler, along with Masahiro Chono and Hiroshi Tenzan, to win 2 consecutive G1 Climax tournaments. Yeah. But he is the first wrestler in the history of New Japan to reach the finals 3 times in a row. Wow. So yeah, that's really cool. And the only thing that I hope is that hopefully at Wrestle Kingdom in January, that he and Tetsuya Naito don't try to go out of the way to drop each other on their fucking heads 80 times, like what they tend to do every time they wrestle.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just gonna say the thing that's really cool is the finals. The match between Ibushi and Sanada was actually the longest match in the history of the G1 tournament. It was 35 minutes and 12 seconds. Wow. So yeah, both guys did go out of your way if you have any interest in Japanese wrestling. I think that it was a solid match from beginning to end. Yeah. And without question, both guys brought it. It was an amazing match.
Yeah, I saw the highlights of that, and I can imagine if what I saw how it ended was kind of how the 35 minutes match took place, and it was definitely an exciting match to watch. I'll tell you what I was mostly shocked about when I was watching or reading up on what happened, and I have to go back and actually see this for myself. Okay, Will Ospreay, right, turns heel by betraying his mentor. Now, let me get this right. I know it's Okada, but let me start off with his first name. Is it Kazuchika?
Very close. Very close. Yeah. Kazuchika.
Kazuchika.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick.
How is that very close?
That's not close at all.
Hey, I'm just trying to make Impact feel better about himself.
Yeah, okay? Man.
Thank you.
Calm down.
We have a game called Japanese names with Impact.
Dude, I'm telling you, we need to do something like that.
You know, DJ, you dodged a bullet by marrying an Asian woman named Lisa.
That's what I'm saying.
I did. I appreciate her for having a name I could say. But yes. Okada, right? So he betrayed his mentor, and the Chaos faction. Now he had helped in this betraying with his girlfriend, I guess, Priestley, right, who's with AEW, and also the return of the Great O-Khan, right?
Yeah,
the Great O-Khan.
Anyway.
Into a sound bite.
Wait,
I'm just saying right now, man, if you have to save my life to say these names right, I'm fucked on Arrival.
Well, hey, let me be. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm not fluent in my Japanese pronunciation. So there's many more to come, like this one here, aka Tomoyuki Oka. Sin City, close.
Nailed it.
Hey, honestly, you could have done a whole hell of a lot worse, Impact.
Okay.
So
Anyways, so look. Anyway, he when he betrayed Okada, pretty much you had his girlfriend there, and then you have the return of Tomoyuki, right?
Mm-hmm.
This helped give Will Ospreay the win. Now, this is the second time in 2 years that Chaos Stablement has, I guess, done this to poor Okada, which I don't know why this keeps happening to him. But I guess the question becomes is, are the folks that helped him, are they a part of Will Ospreay's new faction? And if so, like, who's going to help him? That's the first question, Steve. The second one is, what role would be Priestley play in this if she's pretty much a talent at AEW?
Well, so here's the thing, just to kind of set something a little bit straight. Actually, B. Priestley is no longer with AEW.
She is, okay.
So she's actually working for the Stardom promotion in Japan, which Stardom is basically the sister promotion of New Japan. They're both owned by the same exact company. So they do a lot of talent loan and talent exchange and things like that from time to time.
Okay.
So I think that we could see more of a pronounced impact by B. Priestley, but also from the other members of the Stardom roster in New Japan, which I would be completely fine with. That's something that they are lacking, is having, women representation, female representation on their shows.
Right.
But obviously up until this point, it's been something to where you've had the men's promotion and the women's promotion, and they haven't really kind of brought them together.
Right.
One thing that really kind of stands out to me is this was something that I think Ospreay is going to he's going to elevate his game even more than what he did about a year ago, when he said, I'm not a junior heavyweight. I want to be in the heavyweight division. He put on some muscle mass, changed up his wrestling moveset a little bit, didn't do so much of the crazy aerial, YOLO dives. And he's just been a lot more hard hitting, a little bit higher impact, no pun intended, in his moveset. And I'm pretty optimistic that this is going to fill the void of the Chaos faction, which for all intents and purposes is basically done. They've been kind of a loose faction for a couple of years now, where, members would come and go. Sometimes they'd rep the Chaos brand, sometimes not. So I think that, right now you really don't have a whole lot there other than Okada. And I think that this is going to be a time where they just kind of, shuffle that faction to the side, unless Okada gets some buddies, and then they go the exact opposite way and, branch out and actually kind of flesh out the ranks of Chaos.
Gotcha. So the only thing next, I guess, we got to look for New Japan will be the Road to Power struggle. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be awesome. One thing that we did see was Jay White. Jay White kind of interrupted the post-match proceedings, said that he was going to be taking the championship title match, which obviously the entire G1 tournament was to give somebody a title match at Wrestle Kingdom. So that title match traditionally is on the line at events up until Wrestle Kingdom. So Jay White kind of threw his hat in the ring as being one of the people to, say, hey, I'm gonna wrestle you for your title match opportunity. Right. So we'll see how that goes. White and Ibushi, I think that will put on an amazing match for sure.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Go ahead.
Steve, I got a question for you. Do you ever see Ospreay or Jay White coming back stateside to a major promotion?
So ultimately, the thing is, Ospreay absolutely loves it in Japan. According to everything that I've read and everything that I've seen, they really respect his work ethic. They really respect, his mentality on professional wrestling. I don't necessarily see Ospreay going to WWE. I could see him going to AEW, but the thing is that kind of, dissuades me from actually being all in on that is they had their opportunity. They had B. Priestley signed to a contract, and Will's contract actually came due in New Japan while B was on the AEW roster. I had made comment that, that AEW signing B. Priestley may be a way for them to kind of, get a foot in the door and bring in Ospreay. But when Ospreay re-upped his deal with New Japan, I think that ship may have sailed, at least for the short term. As far as Jay White, he for all intents and purposes, he is the leader of Bullet Club. As of right now, Evil technically is, but they're going to be feuding, and I'm sure that that's going to be something that's put in the balance of their feud. So I don't think that Jay White's going to make the leap, only because they're going to give him everything except for the heavyweight championship on a platter. They love what Jay White's done, and realistically speaking, Jay White was somebody that before he got mixed up with the Switchblade gimmick and doing the Bullet Club stuff, a lot of people were kind of lukewarm on him, but he's really found a foothold with doing his thing with the Switchblade gimmick and then with the Bullet Club.
Plus, he has to go against Rice. That's the biggest thing, because then you'll have White on Rice.
All right.
See, I won't be the only one doing stand up.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be opening for him apparently. All right.
Actually, the South Point has an open mic night every Saturday night. So I'm just saying.
Catch me at the South Point, baby.
There you go. Well, thank you for that, Sin City. New Japan, if you didn't get a chance to see the G1, you can go watch the repeat of that. It's worth seeing if you get a chance. And then we can watch the Power Struggle and see how that comes about. All right.
New Japan World, man. New Japan World is 9.99 yen, which translates to just under $10 per month. And it's amazing.
It's worth it.
Just like how the WWE Network is, you can go back and watch cards from 20 years ago. All the way up until now. They have both Japanese commentary and U.S. commentary done by Kevin Kelly from ROH fame and WWF fame back in the day as well.
Perfect. All right. Let's move over to names I definitely get right. From WWE Raw, we're going to jump over to there. And King Lucky, a lot of things was happening. We had the continuation of the draft among so much other things, man. Lead us into some conversation.
Well, I just got one question for you. Yeah. Who wants to walk with Elias?
That
was probably my biggest.
I don't understand you, man. I don't understand you. You big on Elias, right? And I'm not saying Elias in no means is weak sauce, but you don't like Lars Sullivan. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it, man.
Hey, Elias is talented, baby. It's that simple.
Yeah, how do you compare the two?
Elias can play a guitar.
I'm comparing the two because Elias been hot for what, 4 years?
Dude, Lucky's just mad because Lars is a good in-shape version of Lucky.
I guess.
Was good.
Obviously, it's so fucking beard.
There you go.
Oh shit.
Hey, stretch your eyes, King Lucky. Stretch your eyes like Lars be doing, like.
Yeah.
And you write your name in fucking electrical tape.
Yeah, put it on your ass.
Hey, listen. No real surprises from Monday Night Raw. I mean, a lot of what we of what we saw, Braun Strowman, I called it. I said he was going to be on Monday Night Raw because that's what was happening. I called it. Shirt coming soon, baby. I called it.
Hey, Impact, can we get a fucking tally for him? So every time he claims something he did, we can just keep a tally.
Hey, that day is coming real soon, Simon Street. You got to wear that tattoo, okay? How about that?
Look, my neck is ready, bro. Worry about yourself.
If you want to tally, he, by all means, the one to go through all things and keep this tally. Because
I lost count of how many times this brother right here then talked about he called it. I need a historian to start me off.
All right. Riddle, Street Profits all went over to Raw. I was surprised a little bit that Corbin was staying put, and that Apollo got, sent back so fast. But you know what? Overall, I thought it was an entertaining show. I was surprised that Lana got the title match. So all those weeks of getting beat down and destroyed, she's
no longer taking the punishment for Miro jumping over ship, huh?
Wait.
It's because she was banging. She was banging. That's why.
Wait. Anyone who considers a match with Asuka,
right? That's what I was saying.
She's getting her ass fucking kicked now. She's going from ticking tables into literally being punched and fucking kicked as hard as possible.
Yeah, you do realize she's going to lose in like 10 seconds, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Or if it truly is punishment, about 7.5 to 8 minutes of just pure torture.
But she still gets to have her name on that marquee, right? As going for the women's championship, right?
I mean, yes.
You got to say she was in a big pay-per-view match, baby.
Right.
That's about as solid and permanent as the most winningest champion is Natalya. Ain't nobody cared about that shit. No offense, Natalya. Just nobody cared about it.
I'm a person that loves comedy, right? You'll see me laugh at all types of stupid and crazy shit, right? But I'm convinced now that I don't like Miz and Morrison. I don't like the dirt sheet. I'm beginning to not find nothing they do entertaining. Is it just me? Is it just I get what they're doing, and okay, is that what it's supposed to be doing?
It's working. They're supposed to be annoying.
They've always been annoying.
They're doing their job.
Yeah, but there was, I don't know. I guess, but when they first started off, it wasn't as bad.
Right
now, it's just kind of when
they're being heels. Impact.
Yeah, well, I get that.
You definitely did officially buy your house in Smarkville.
There you go.
You're paying that fucking mortgage.
You definitely are.
Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Join the crew.
You're making King Lucky that much richer. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
Welcome to the kingdom, baby.
I guess
welcome
so.
To the kingdom.
And did you guys like how
Miz and Morrison in there?
New Day and Street Profits, how they just kind of switched over titles? Was that kind of legit?
I had no issue with it. That was cool.
Okay. All right.
Makes sense. At least they acknowledged it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And did something quick. It was corny. It was straightforward, but at least they acknowledged it. Because when the shit was going down, I was like, well, how does that work? Obviously, I just wondered. So I appreciate it.
For fuck's sake, you literally had to go, how does this work?
Okay, you know what? I wanted to see how it works.
Hey, he just wanted to call a beaver a beaver, baby.
Yeah, man, I want to see the beaver. God damn it. Show me the beaver. Raw showed me the beaver.
You're in Smarkville too. Jesus Christ.
I'm not in Smarkville.
Welcome to the kingdom.
Continuity, motherfuckers. Continuity. There was none. Take a look. Go do me a favor. After we're done with the show, get on Wikipedia and go take a look at tag team championship title histories. Okay?
All right.
Tell me how fucked up it is that the title history for the Raw championships and now the SmackDown championships mean nothing. They literally mean nothing at this point.
You do have a point.
Because they were what? They were just handed over.
They might be in the same boat as the Revival, but we'll get back to that a little bit later.
But to that point, the tag team division died in the sense when they had to make championship belts for both brands.
Right.
You know, that's it. They've ignored the tag team division essentially for the longest of time. You honestly, do you really need two tag champions?
No.
Why is it not a floater? That's the thing that still gets me too, is why they don't have one or two titles that are floaters between the two. Might as well.
That it's bound to come around again where they condense all the belts and they just have, you know, I mean, especially with the climate that we're in right now, I wouldn't write it off.
Too much talent. They got too much talent to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the title mean a little bit more.
You know
what I was legitimately hoping was during that backstage segment that they would have said, okay, New Day, you have these championships. Street Profits, you have these championships. Let's just put them all on the line tonight in a unification match. That's what I was hoping for. But instead they were like, oh, well, you just hand them over to the other team.
Well, yeah, that's like I said.
Fuck out of here.
I thought it was a little interesting. Just like
I thought it was funny that
like,
way.
okay,
because it was just like, oh, so that's all we do. We just switch red for blue. Is that all we do? Okay.
But that shows two things. One, there's too much talent that you have to work into every show to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And number two, again, they're title belts. They really don't mean much, essentially. That too many people now put too much emphasis on the titles meaning that much. That's really not the, you know, the fact of the matter is that it's a show. They're really selling the show aspect of things.
Yeah. And
that's really it. Because if you want to get down to it, the fact of the matter is, does it matter? Because even when someone like Brock Lesnar has the belt, people bitch and complain, oh, well, he doesn't defend it. Well, he's an attraction. You know, so there's different ways to look at it. And, you know, in the end, what the fuck? I mean, they're tag team championships for two different brands. Doesn't matter.
Okay, I got it. Was there anything else you guys enjoyed from Raw this past week?
Ricochet's little acting ability.
Yeah, that was
cool. Channeling a little bit of Eddie Guerrero, and especially Eddie's birthday was not too long ago as well. Yep. So I wonder if that had something to play into it specifically, but it was just really cool to see. And thankfully we finally have the end to that storyline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Let's hope. My God, let's hope.
Let's hope, because let's just be honest. I mean, King Lucky complained about it last week. I mean, the whole Seth Rollins and the Mysterio family isn't going away anytime soon. So I would love to see it close.
Obviously not.
And by the way, I did enjoy Seth, you know, walking up the ramp there.
That's what I was just getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. Running the AJ Styles and cause that little friction there.
And then that match was pretty good too. I mean, you know, three of the top tier guys, you know, any way you want to slice it, it was a good match. So
yeah. Well, cool guys. That's your Monday Night Raw as it's leading towards.
Didn't we miss like the biggest fucking thing that happened? Didn't it happen on Raw? The Fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk about it.
I'm just making sure that this actually happened and I wasn't fucking high.
But aren't you always?
Yeah, the Fiend he got drafted and he showed up as well with his boo.
Ain't his boo, it's his side chick. It's his side chick.
Side chick. There you go.
It's his side chick. He ain't one-on-one with her like that. Just periodically.
So are we going to see Kevin Owens, become a part of that universe? I think it'd be great if they started doing the Funhouse with Kevin Owens and Bliss and Bray Wyatt.
That's
The
not
only
going to
problem
happen.
with that,
It's not
Mr.
gonna
Michaels, is that Kevin Owens, as per my call, went over to SmackDown.
And it was made official on Friday. So I mean,
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't know if we'll necessarily get that on Raw.
Well, then the question is, why the fuck were they even fucking with it?
because sometimes people just fuck with things just to fuck on instead of fuck with.
Maybe
When you fuck on, you're just fucking for the time being. But if you're fucking with, it's continuation. He was just a
so.
How the
So
fuck-
anyway, thank you for muting him. I would have done it if I had the magic button. But no, I honestly, to answer your question, Michaels, I think that it's because they knew that both guys were going to be flip-flopping brands and that they were literally two ships passing in the night. Even though, I should have said the word figuratively when I said literally, but whatever. So you have two people that are on, that one guy going from Raw to SmackDown, one guy going from SmackDown to Raw. So why not give them a couple of week program, see how people react to it, because they're not going to be interfacing with each other for another year. Plus, who knows? Maybe
they go back to it.
maybe this does set Owens down a different path on the new brand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because now he'll be the heel and Aleister Black will be the face.
Why not? How many times have they turned the Big Show?
Oh, I don't mind the turn. I just don't want to see those two again.
Trust me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump over into Impact Wrestling,
Yes.
which you can catch on Tuesday nights on the greatest channel in the world, Access.
everybody has it.
The greatest channel that no one has access to.
Except
There you go.
Impact. Except Impact.
Except Impact.
Hey, they definitely get their viewership from me. So at least that one guys comes from me.
But at least there's one.
150,000 other people got it.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
as you know,
But that also means that DJ Impact's got to pay $400 for a DirecTV package.
That part.
yeah. Well, you know what? It works when you call them and threaten them and say, you know what? I'm thinking about jumping over to YouTube TV. So you need to drop that bill down. And normally they go, oh, yeah, okay, not a problem. That's how you get around that. Anyways, yes, everything is leading up to this big weekend of Bound for Glory. So this is what this show concentrated a little bit on. Started off, of course, with EC3 and Moose. EC3 is still taunting Moose, and that's how the show started. Apparently last week, I told you that it looked like he dropped this belt on a bridge, although it wasn't really a bridge. Well, apparently he didn't really drop it. He didn't really drop it because he had it in his hand to taunt Moose again, which Moose says, oh, I know where you're at and I'm coming to get you. So we'll talk about that towards the end of the show when that happened. But Falaba, right? He is the best man. We still have a wedding coming up, guys, in 2 weeks for Bravo and Rosemary. Okay, it's going to be a beautiful wedding.
I thought Miro was the best man.
Not Miro. On the other show, he's the best man. Hopefully we get a wedding for that too. It's wedding season, guys. So anyway, in 2 weeks, we hope to see that. So Falaba, remember last week I told you Bravo was complaining about the fact that this wedding's costing a lot of money. So Falaba went back there and and stole the money, a big wad of money from Hernandez. Okay, so this past Tuesday, Falaba finally comes back in the room and they're like, hey, Mr. Best Man, did you find that money you said that you was gonna find? And Fala just kind of went like, I don't know what you're talking about. What money? At the same time, this big bulk of raw cash is coming out of his chest here. And Crazy Steve is noticing that looks a little awkward. And as he exposes him about that, it caused a match to happen in the ring. So they end up fighting. And of course, at the very last part of the match, Steve ends up ripping off that shirt, and there's a big wad of cash, which now Falaba is trying to hold and keep to not show. So I'm sure Hernandez is going to eventually find out he's got this money and get all up in his ass. But as of right now, Bravo still doesn't have this money that he needs. That's very, very, very expensive. So I don't know how this wedding going to come out, guys. We have to tune in to see what happens to that.
Is it me, or is it just sad that Impact Wrestling doesn't have enough money to actually take care of the wedding, that has to do it out of his own, or what's his face has to do it out of his own pocket?
I know, right? Well, hey, it is what it is, man. You know, Rhino, Heath, you know, here we go. Heath is still not signed.
That's
and
Impact doesn't have the money.
But Rhino went to bat for him and said, okay, look, man, they're going to give you an opportunity. Okay. In fact, they're going to even give you the contract that you came with. Because remember, he offered them this contract that they looked at him and was like, dude, please. You know, only megastars get this type of contract. You get this contract. So Rhino worked it out so he can go, hey, in this Bound for Glory match, they're in something called a Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. And it's going to have a lot of people in there. AC Romero, Larry D, Tenille Dashwood, Taya Valkyrie, Brian Myers, Tommy Dreamer, Havoc, and may even be a few more. But also Rhino and Heath is going to be a part of this, right? So here's the deal. One of the two has got to win. If either one of them wins, Heath gets the contract and the contract that he wants. But if either one of them lose, not only will Heath not get hired by Impact Wrestling, but Rhino contract goes away as well, and he becomes fired. So, boy, this is going to be tough, man. I hope one of those two actually win this Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, but this is what it's come down to. You know, will Heath finally get in, and will Rhino still have a job? Kylie Ray, all right, she had her match against Kimberly. It was actually a really, really good match to see. Kylie Ray, now, if you remember, I was telling you, she kind of last week, her behavior was changing to become a little bit like Su Yung, which she's been trying to stop Susie from becoming.
You got a serious mean face too.
Yes, absolutely. And she's still upset that Susie's arm got broken by Deanna. So she had her match with Kimberly, and she won that match by submission. But after that bell rung, Kylie Ray did not let go. And Kimberly, of course, was in pain, caused Deanna to eventually get in the ring to try to stop her. And then Kylie Ray eventually whooped up on her. And she had that same expression again. So looked like Kylie Ray is really about to go over to the dark side. I'm assuming that when her partner comes back, and you know they're going to transition into these ultimate heel tag teams, which would be different from Kylie Ray, you know. But she's definitely you know, showing her skills in the ring and her acting ability. So I'm sold on it. And she does have her match coming up.
So she's a second-rate Alexa Bliss.
Well,
hey man, they're trying, okay?
Alexa
But you know
Bliss
what?
from Wish.
But you know what? Technically, she was doing it before Alexa Bliss, if you really think about it. No one's feeling that. No.
They got WWE taste and Impact Wrestling budget.
Yeah, you can think of it that way.
Well said.
Eric Young, of course, he came up in the ring as he wants to know what's going on with which one's feet after he keeps on attacking it because he don't want to wrestle this guy for the belt. And so right now it's up in the air at this point in the middle of the show. Is Rich going to even be able to fight Eric? Eric decided to say, look, I'm going to hijack the show until someone let me know if I'm going to be fighting this guy or not, which, of course, brings out Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore hits the ring, have the discussion with him, and what do you think happened? Eric beats Scott's ass. And I mean, he took an ass whipping. In fact, if someone is an executive, I don't understand why no one, like from security or like how you take a 5-minute ass whipping in the ring if you're an executive, you know. But eventually, Rich,
because they got no money for security anymore.
Which is why Heath keeps getting in too, right? Yeah. So, but hey, Rich actually he miraculously showed up and started beating up on Eric. So I guess it's his foot is not as bad. And then Scott was able to let Eric know that, yeah, you will be still fighting Rich for the Impact World Championship. So that's going to be going on. And then, of course, finally, Moose finds EC3 on this bridge. And they eventually start fighting on this bridge, going back and forth. And the show ended with Moose getting his TNA title back and EC3 looking all beat up on this bridge, which I found pretty interesting considering that they're going to be fighting at their pay-per-view. So I don't know why EC3 would kind of take that small beating that way, being that he really hasn't even fought yet. I mean, if anybody, he needs to be the one that's, on top at the moment.
Well, he's preparing himself for 2 months from now when he's literally living on a bridge.
Damn.
Control your narrative.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much all of Impact right there. Again, Bound for the Glory is this weekend. So the Impact World Championship, we get a chance to see Eric Young and Rich Swann. The Knockouts Championship, Deonna Purrazzo and Kylie Ray. The Impact World Tag Team Championship, I haven't talked much about them, but there's been a lot of things going on with them. Motor City Machine Gun, Good Brothers, Madman Fulton, Ace Austin, and the North. So it'll be all of them going for that tag team. The X Division, you got Rohit, Chris Bay, Jordan Grace, Trey, TJP, and Willie Mack. So that should be really good to see. And of course, again, that Call Your Shot Gauntlet match will happen with everyone else. Moose and EC versus EC3 should happen. And some weird Ken Shamrock, Sammy Callahan versus Eddie Edwards. I don't get that storyline at all, but anyway, they're going to have a match. And that's going to be your show this weekend. Overall, I think it's going to be a really good pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
So, Impact, I got a question. So what time do we show up to your house since you're the only one that has it going? What time we show up? What food item or drink do we bring?
Oh, that's funny. Well, we'll have to talk about that later. Let's jump right over into our WWE NXT, where we have Matt Michaels can let us know what your take was on this show.
Let me refer to some notes here.
Yes.
Because the more time gets away, the more it's like, oh, what the fuck actually happened?
Right. I understand.
The initial first match with Strong and Fish versus Birch and Lorcan was a very solid match. Strong and Fish, that was the right move to have them tag up a little bit, because you'll be able to use them in a capacity of potentially building younger teams.
Yeah.
So that is it's a good move. Ember Moon talks great.
You're still not sold on her yet, man?
Just in general, it's just like, all right, I don't know. There is so much more talent than there was when she got hurt, literally. It's remarkable how quick the women are developing.
Sure.
So it's really hard to get excited by someone that has already been kind of mitigated to mid-card a little bit.
Yeah.
So she's, until I see what they're doing in matches with her, then that might change a little bit. But speaking of, you got, I don't know where they're going with this Atlas and Adonis and Swerve coming in, and felt clunky in the middle, but they're obviously trying to again continue to kind of get guys like Jake Atlas a little exposure, which is great.
Yeah.
Gargano in theory stole the show.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Listen, when in doubt, just put Gargano or put Ciampa in a fucking match.
Right. Yeah.
You're good. You're good. It's just, and everything Gargano and what's your face, Candice LeRae are doing right now is just
Mm-hmm.
it's spot on, because you actually now have, remember Gargano was very plain. It was very, Johnny Wrestling, like, was so all-American type feel, just so, but now you can see that they're fucking having fun, and it's great. I mean, that's awesome. The same thing, Candice LeRae coming out on top of that match was perfect. Also setting up the announcement for Shotzi then to come out and do the announcement of the Wheel of Death, essentially. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see what happens with it. Interesting though that it was both LeRae and Gargano who are going to be participating in those matches.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I got a feeling we're going to see probably those two, taking the brunt of whatever the fuck these matches end up being.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. Tony Storm.
Storm, baby.
Here's the
Look,
thing.
you need a cold shower over there.
Right.
Tony Storm is fucking amazing, hands down. The problem was that you put her with Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I give the girl all the credit in the fucking world for coming where she came from to where she is now.
Yeah,
that's great.
You're talking about Aaliyah, right?
Yeah, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
I think that Aaliyah's best served ultimately, honestly, becoming either like a backstage presence in terms of like on camera, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't know.
What is she missing? What is she missing? What is wrong with, like, what's not connecting?
There's a certain thing. For instance, look at Peyton Royce or Billie Kay. Those two, if you just look at them, you think that when they go into the ring, they're not going to be as competitive, right? Because they're not super huge characters in terms of presence, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're not your Ripley or
Mm-hmm.
Even but when they get in the ring, you can see that they can hold their own, and that's why they're on the main roster.
Yeah.
She still is not to that point where she can fully, I think, hold her own.
Mm.
And at this point, I don't think it's a switch that will click on. Meaning, she's been through a lot. It's not like, this is her 6th month.
Yeah.
And you have people who are going to be breathing on her heels who are in their 6th month and are that, accelerated. So the passion's great. The presence is good. She's a beautiful young woman. She can, talk. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Give her a microphone. Become an analysis person.
Yeah.
I think that in the end too, it really doesn't give the Robert Stone brand anywhere to grow.
Mm.
Meaning that you put him with her to help get her over, and it's not doing anything to help that character accelerate. You haven't seen them trust her in storylines. Once they put them with her, they started kind of trying, and then where has that gone? It was great that we saw the Shotzi stuff with Stone getting run over and whatnot, but apparently that kind of shit is just kind of gone away, and now they're feeding her to Tony Storm, who it fits into the story that Tony Storm is, quote unquote, working off ring rust. So you put her with someone who isn't at the same level, and essentially you're covering up her, you know, lack of the same level of ability as Tony Storm by saying Storm's been gone all this time and she's got ring rust. Literally, you could throw Tony Storm in there with, you know, the top 3 people right fucking away. But again, you want to kind of give a build of that character for people who, you know, not seen her.
Let me ask King Lucky, the king of Smartville. Would you agree with his analysis on Aaliyah? I mean, what should we do about her situation here?
I mean, that ship is sailed already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not really much, you know, and I've tried to find ways to like her, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that she's a hard worker. She's been with NXT for several years, but like he said, several people have passed her by.
Mm-hmm.
And the rate now of the way they're bringing these girls in, they're already at the level or, you know, moving up. And then I just don't see whose spot you would take to plug her in there. You gave her a shot with the Robert Stone brand. That kind of just fizzled out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'd be tough. I like his recommendation of using her as somebody for backstage, because the girl works hard and stuff like that, you know, but her ceiling is already hit, and that's it.
Okay.
And then you get Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. It's like the total opposite of that. You get 2 guys, one who was going to be fired,
Yeah.
and, you know, saved face. And then you got Killian Dane, for all intents and purposes, who has been DOA for months. And that unlikely tag pairing is fucking working, which is, you know,
it's gonna be really good once they, you know, they get the ball rolling on this thing.
Yeah. So, you know, that's interesting. And then finally you finish off with Loomis against Priest. Come on, you know, you gotta love Cameron Grimes, man. Gotta love the guy.
Yeah, buddy.
And I mean, they're persisting to make Loomis face. That's the most remarkable thing. You would figure that a psychopathic
right
be a heel. And
maybe it's because Dexter's coming back, baby.
yeah, that's exactly it. But you know, and then Priest, come on, you know, for someone who, it's interesting that he in Ring of Honor was good, but you kind of got that feeling where he just was kind of an older guy, and that there was going to be no place for him to really climb, especially with what talent they had at that point in Ring of Honor, and that, you know, he still had Cody and the Bucks and everything. He goes to NXT, and everyone assumes, well, he's an older guy, maybe he'll get this, you know, quick push or whatever, or maybe they're going to take this. They've done everything fucking right with him.
Oh yeah.
Mind blowing. Yeah. And I think if you take him right now, you put him up to the main roster, I see Baron Corbin's career if you bring him up, which is a big guy that we like, but we don't know what to do with the character, and it gets all fucking jumbled.
Yeah.
And he's where he needs to be. Fucking take it for the long run. Do what you need to do in NXT. Transition into a trainer.
Yep.
And that would be the fucking perfect path with them. But entertaining, I mean, dude, anytime you put Dexter Loomis and Priest in a fucking ring together, it's just, you don't have to think about the wrestling aspect, because you're watching some great psychology of characters, and it's a different speed than a Gargano going out there. And, you know, you have these big guys who can do some amazing stuff, but their storytelling is, you know, right on par, to the point where you're invested in the match, and then that shit Cameron Grimes comes out and fucks with the match. That is perfect storytelling right there.
Anybody else want to mention anything about NXT before we move on?
It was a good show.
Okay.
I will definitely say that there's going to be some foreshadowing of what's going to happen for the higher stakes that William Regal spoke about after, the Shotzi Blackheart and Tinkerbell, who I call her. My prediction is that Shotzi Blackheart will be the special guest referee for Halloween Havoc for that match with, Tinkerbell versus, the NXT champion, Io Shirai. That's what I feel is going to happen.
Okay. Well, let's jump over next then to AE Dubs. Sin City, tell us, man, some highlights or some bad lights.
So yeah, of all people to introduce AEW, it's DJ Impact, the guy that absolutely hates AEW and everything that it stands for.
Stop it.
Where's the lie?
I like AEW.
In all seriousness, though, I think that they got the show off to a great start with the best friends, or as Miro called them, the good friends, against FTR for the championships. Okay, so the second that they showed the arcade cabinet, I knew that was going to play into some match. I just didn't think that it was going to be the opening match.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was pretty corny in the utilization of that, but it did bring out Miro as he should have been, honestly, from the beginning, just wrecking shop on everybody.
So wait, hold on, time out. So Miro, when he was formerly Rusev.
I'm sorry, what was that? Can you say that name one more time?
Rusev.
Okay.
When he was that character, he gets put into a storyline where he lets his wife go with another man. However, damn it, if the video game gets ruined, I'm all over it, and I'm pissed now.
Yeah.
Which again makes me think, what is Lana doing?
Clearly not Miro. No.
Right.
No, in all seriousness, I'm sure that Home Life is great between the two of them.
There was actually an article about, they were saying that, people comment a lot on their relationship, and some even trying to ruin it, but they stay strong. So
which is pretty shitty.
At
the end of the day, like everybody from Vince and everybody across the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, you break the arcade cabinet, which just so happened to be Kip Sabian's best and greatest possession that he's ever had. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I was completely on board with Miro just being a badass. Although there was a slight botch on the him applying the game over camel clutch, which I thought was pretty funny. Sean Maluda did his damnedest to make sure that he was in the right place. The arms just slipped. Jesus.
Yeah. See, now you begin to sound like me. Okay, that's the stuff I say.
You put more of a vindictive spin on it, and you say, why is anybody watching this shit?
No, I don't say that. I watch the same stuff going, I just find myself doing this emoji.
That's not an emoji.
So here's the thing: is you can definitely facepalm, and I've called him out on certain things that I've thought were pretty shitty, but I've applauded them when they've done things that are done well. Yeah. I think that having Miro with Sabian, for a feud with the Best Friends. I think that's good. I mean, they are a reputable tag team that will serve a very distinct purpose, and that is to put over Miro, Sabian too, but Miro specifically. And that's really what they should be doing at this point. And you can say what you will about another ex-WWE guy in the spotlight. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
but in that scenario, you have an ex-WWE guy who is helping get over an ex-WWE guy. So it's
very true. No one knows that, or at least a lot of people have forgotten about that. Thank you, historian.
Yeah. but
not just the golden era, he knows apparently.
But it brings up a very valid point, and that is when you sign X amount of talent, of course you're going to have these guys, elevating each other and moving up, because that's majority of your, you're starting to get 25%, then 35%. All of a sudden, you get 50% of your roster, ex-WWE guys. Well, what are you going to do? You're spending them.
And so moving on, we had the next segment with Jericho and MJF challenging one another to appear at the restaurant next week for a dinner business meeting. So that was pretty comical. You can kind of see the way that things are going, that it's going to be Sammy that is the fly in the ointment with, with MJF coming over to the Inner Circle. So I think that could be a very interesting wrinkle, and I hope that they,
Jericho,
do more to explore that.
Does Jericho go face? And Sammy and MJF basically take over the whatever they're called, the Inner Circle or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
I see MJF. Yeah, I see MJF ending up taking over the Inner Circle in time, which, it is what it is. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. And even hashtag not my king is correct on a couple of occasions. So I just wish that the AEW brass that listened to this show and watched this show didn't pay so much attention to his fucking opinions and the things that he says, because they're shit.
Welcome to the kingdom, baby.
Fuck off. Anyway,
but guess who's emailing them? Guess who's emailing them the actual fucking clips they should be listening to?
Oh, of course.
It's coming straight from King Lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course it's coming from King Lucky directly.
Yeah.
You had a TNT championship match that went the full duration, time limit draw, which in pro wrestling is something, quite frankly, I don't think is done enough. I think that in a draw, you actually put Orange Cassidy over. Everything from, the way that the announcers talked about him during the match to the obvious, the ending of the match being the time limit draw, to the post-match stuff where you had Orange Cassidy playing a sympathetic babyface. Like I found myself almost getting sucked into it. Like, oh shit, man, this sucks. Like this was his opportunity, and nothing's going to happen from it now. So yeah, I think that mission accomplished on that. Cody went back to the fucking bleach blonde hair after I made a comment about how it was cool that he went back to the dark hair. So again, AEW brass, don't listen to the fucking king.
Welcome to the kingdom, baby.
Fuck off. Hashtag not my king. From there, I mean, you had Sheeta and Big Swole. It started off pretty well, but there were some botches in this match. It got sloppy pretty quick. And then the ending was just a little bit abrupt. Sheeta's on a roll, obviously. We'll see what happens, but I want to see more of Thunder Rosa. I know that was a temporary thing, but we've got to get more Thunder Rosa back on the show. Whatever kind of an agreement that they got to work out with the NWA to get her appearing. I was excited about the women's division, and my level of excitement for the women's division has decreased.
Who's in charge of the women's division?
What's
Official.
that?
Who's in charge of the women's division?
As far as I know, it's still Omega.
Yeah, Omega.
Okay, I just wanted to make that a point because that's maybe where we should start. No offense, I love you.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind, there being a changing of the guard with the booking staff when it comes to the women's division. Give somebody else an opportunity to book the division for a little while.
On top of that, Steve, I'll flat out say it. This is a company that a year ago, when they started this show, they came out and they said, we're going to be diverse. Yep. So have a fucking woman booking the goddamn fucking women's division.
I agree
Facts.
1,000,000%.
Facts.
And AEW Brass, if you're listening to the show, there's that.
And not Brandy.
Not Brandy.
No offense, Brandy. Not Brandy.
Maybe like somebody like Serena Deeb. Why not?
Yeah.
Although I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy seeing her in the ring right now. She's freaking amazing. But,
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Doesn't have to mean she can't. I mean,
Yeah.
True. Very, very true.
Exactly.
Doing it now, and he's on the show. So
Yeah.
just get a woman in charge of that division and make it someone who has a history and knowledge of how to, and I think that's honestly a difficult thing, is because until recently, women haven't had the same type of, chances on the independent level to do that booking, to get that experience. So
exactly.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Because you made an excellent point, Michaels. Do you think that to some degree, if they maybe A, have tried to do that in the past, or B, they would like to, but what I'm saying is the opponent really is just the network is interfering with them to some degree, to whereas they're not 100% backing that decision. No. And you don't think? I wonder sometimes.
Network's more concerned with
the numbers, right?
Right, your on-camera product. They're not necessarily going to get involved into the backstage, the actual physical booking of stuff.
Unless it's a TNT championship.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons I think, honestly, one of the smartest things they did was introduce that title, because that gets them off the network, off the ass of people wanting to butt in. They have their own they can butt in on now. Yeah. So probably not.
So we should see a change in the next couple of weeks then, basically.
Well, we can hope.
I think so. I think I'm being honest. I think that we all can see the writing on the wall, what needs to be changed. No offense to Kenny Omega. You're great at a lot of things, but this is not one of them. And this women's division in AEW does need a new direction.
Yeah, without a doubt. And finally, your main event, Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer. No DQ match. Okay, so Archer throws a production crew member through a pane of glass during his entrance, and immediately I was sold. I was like, all right, let's do this. And this match, what?
Your king looking at you weird.
I don't give a shit.
I'm tired of Archer with the jobbers. That ship is sailed too.
Bro, I love when he makes his appearance and he just beats the shit out of random people. Why not? That's obviously his thing. So fuck it. I'll embrace it.
You know what, Sensei Steve, sorry to cut you off. King Lucky has just received a phone call from AEW. Lance Archer is looking for another jobber. King Lucky is the person.
Perfect. Throw him through a piece of glass and 2 tables.
Hey, cut the check, baby.
Okay, you hear that? He said,
"Cut the check. I'll show up. Fly me to Jacksonville."
I should fucking hope that happens. Oh my goodness.
You get a mute. You get a mute. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, thanks. I like it. Perfect. So yeah, these guys beat the shit out of each other. I thought that this was a solid match. And gave some legitimacy to Archer, which he desperately needed. Even in a losing effort, he still got put over in a sense. Gave him some, as I said, some legitimacy. There was even a killer near fall at the very end. Archer hits the blackout. But then when he goes for the cover, Moxley rolls him over for the pin, and just a surprise win. I wish that it would have played out a little bit differently. I said the exact same thing when Darby Allin hit Cody with the coffin drop, and then Cody kind of, hit him, latched his arms for the crucifix pin. Exact same thing here. I wish that there would have been a little bit of a different kind of an ending to the match. But all in all, it was a solid ending. And then you had Eddie Kingston coming out. And did you guys notice Eddie Kingston, or maybe I was just wrong, but it looked like he laid out Moxley with the Judas effect. Was I just high, or was that a thing? Because I saw him hit like either a spinning back fist or a spinning elbow. And yeah, it immediately, that was something that stood out. I was like, why are you busting out Jericho's finisher? Yeah. Thankfully, the announcers no-sold it, but yeah. So
well, maybe that's where we're heading with Jericho going face. Kingston and Jericho.
Okay. I'd be on board with that. I mean, if you use Jericho to put over Eddie Kingston, boy, I'm down.
Yeah.
I am down. The thing that I'll say about the main event, the main event match itself was only like 15 minutes, but they did enough and they were extremely efficient to where the match felt like it went long, and in a good way. Like it felt like as if they were doing a lot of shit in that 15-minute window. So all in all, it was a pretty solid episode of Dynamite. There were definitely some misses. There were some hits though. I'm curious, what do you guys think about the tournament that was announced for the championship opportunity, if you will, for the Moxley championship?
I think it's good. I'm excited to see how it develops.
Is anybody else here thinking that it's going to be anything other than Omega and Page in the finals?
I hope not.
I totally agree with you, Steve. 100%.
Yeah, I legitimately think that it's going to be Omega and Page in the finals. Omega is just going to go full on cleaner. He's going to go full on heel, and he will be the one to get that championship match against Moxley, and he will take that championship from Moxley.
They got to finally pay that story off.
Have to.
Yeah, because I looked at the bracket a couple different times, and anyway I tried to slice it, it just kept. It's a glaring. It was so fucking glaring. It's just like, oh man, then why? I don't know. Just have them have the match then. But
yeah,
right.
Well, because ultimately what you need to do is you need to kind of build to it, I think. Where it could really shine is if you start to see Omega, doing these heel tactics, but not going all the way heel. Kind of like what he's been doing, but make it more pronounced as he progresses through the tournament. And then finally, maybe he switches his entrance music again, and goes dark and, makes a new spin on the cleaner gimmick. And that's what I would personally love to see.
I think you have Brandy do some of her voodoo shit, and Omega becomes Page character, and Page becomes Omega's character.
It'd be like AEW, the Skeleton Key.
Do you guys have anything else about AEW you want to mention before we jump to the next?
No.
Okay, let's go. WWE SmackDown, Simon Street. You gonna talk about Bay and her contract signing?
Well, first of all, that outfit. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. Some of it I can't disclose out in a public setting. It's appropriate. It's appropriate, but she was looking good. But anyways, besides the point, SmackDown season premiere. It's interesting because when I think of season premiere, I think of other great shows that change a lot. Not just their roster, not just the pieces, storylines, new beginnings. unfortunately, I didn't get the one thing that I wanted to change. But, you know, that's besides the point. Maybe they spent too much money, but it's fine.
What, theme song?
Yeah. It is what it is. Maybe it's just my gripe. But besides the point, SmackDown season premiere was great. Started off with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H in the middle of the ring. We got a chance to see Triple H get other people excited who thought Rick James came back from the dead and would possibly been drafted to SmackDown. That did not happen. It was interesting to see those two again. It's been a while.
By the way,
yes,
neither of them have wedding rings on.
This is very interesting because you did make that point the last week. Yes, I don't know what's going on.
Just into maybe a little swapping or, open marriage. Who knows?
They're on that Will and Jada shit. Bad marriage for life. Who knows? But yeah, for the most part, SmackDown, they talked about new talent, new faces. They mentioned Kevin Owens. They also mentioned King Lucky's favorite, Lars Sullivan. I can't speak today. Lars Sullivan, who came out and presented himself with his big eyes, Zangief from Street Fighter looking ass. And then, of course, Jeff Hardy politely came back and said, well, we're tired of seeing you get your ass in the ring. So those two began to have a match. It was a very interesting match. Unfortunately, at the end of it all, Lars Sullivan, won against Jeff Hardy. It was a very interesting thing. I'm going to agree a little bit with King Lucky. I don't know where that's going to go at Lars Sullivan. I'm starting to see why a lot of people aren't excited with him, but SmackDown has a Lars Sullivan, and we'll see how that goes further on.
Well, if they're gonna make him as dominant as it appears it's gonna be, I guess he's on his way to eventually becoming the champion. Which I don't understand why they would go there.
He needs a manager. He needs something else. When we talked about earlier about certain people missing things like Leah, that's what I think of with Lars Sullivan. I feel like something could possibly be okay. I didn't say great.
Well, manager or not, they're gonna find a way to give him that title down the line. But whatever works. You can keep it going, man.
Good luck with that.
Bring Robert Stone to SmackDown.
Hey, you know what? I would actually be great with that. That might actually help Lars Sullivan. He needs something.
Listen.
But then he'll be afraid of Lars.
There ain't nothing.
Precisely.
Not afraid of Lars.
Amazingly well.
Nothing that could get Lars over. I think Vince likes him because he looks like a throwback to the old school, the old school wrestlers. But there ain't nothing that can get him over.
Well, if COVID couldn't get him over, we're good.
Fuck off. There ain't nothing that can get him over. You just don't like him. And as soon as he becomes popular, you're going to be slopping on his cock, dude.
Wow. Hey, can I tally that one, Michaels? Can I tally that one when he's slobbing on his cock?
Oh, man, you guys are like cock slobbers.
Fuck God. He's slobbering on his cock. He's cock slobbering. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
all right, Simon Street, keep us going.
Anyways, moving on to one of the good segments that I really enjoyed was New Day versus Cesaro, Sheamus, and Shinsuke Nakamura. They did not hold back. And again, it was interesting how we were talking about the tag team champions and how a little weirdly with Monday Night Raw. When I saw this match, the one thing that I really wish that WWE had at this point was a trios championship. And not so much because of the New Day, because it was the last match. I felt Cesaro, Sheamus, and Shinsuke Nakamura were very convincing and entertaining. I really enjoyed their synergy that they worked with each other. Especially with Cesaro, I like that the announcers actually mentioned Cesaro being the number one person throughout the New Day's title reigns that they had, which was good. I'm glad that they did that. Sure enough, New Day went over and was able to be victorious. But the great thing is they gave them time to talk it out and kind of express themselves. And it was a bit emotional. It was really great how, they talked about their friendships. They talked about each one of them and their perspectives when being this new idea, which they mentioned it, came about. And I know for someone like myself, who is a New Day fan, I was left presently happy with where it is and the way things are going. Big E is going to stay at SmackDown. and pursue his singles career, as we all know. And New Day is moving on to Raw, which they will, do great things as well. A bit emotional with that part. Moving on a little bit further than that, we have Daniel Bryan, who is for the first time ever in the Thunderdome, as if the Thunderdome has been around for 10 plus years and Daniel Bryan just always missed the ticket to get there. Really happy to see Daniel Bryan. Was freaking amazing. Of course, he was blessed by the Messiah, Seth Rollins. And those two had a very interesting discussion where, Daniel Bryan basically told him that, his whole speech and everything is just stupid. It's just, he basically stated everything that we kind of said, but we still, Seth Rollins is so awesome and so great. He was able to make a stupid thing in the beginning work to his advantage over on Raw. Now, getting to the part that I like, I would skip around a little bit, is Sasha Banks and Bayley. They both met in the ring for a contract signing. Of course, it was overseen by Adam Pearce. And it was very interesting, pretty much, Bayley mentioned that, Sasha was always going to turn on her. She was just waiting for the opportunity. She's still going that same stick that she said many weeks past. It was interesting how Sasha had mentioned, like, look, friends don't do that to friends. At the end of the day, I was there for you. She went down the laundry list of times that she was there against her better backstabbing history that Sasha gets a bad rap on. And, interesting enough, signs the contract. I like how she did it for the most part, 90%, with keeping her eyes locked on Bayley. I think she only looked down for a split second to make sure she signed on the line. And then, Bayley looked super uncomfortable and a little bit beside herself and left, surprisingly. Well, maybe not surprising because we all saw she didn't sign the contract. So interesting enough, what's going to happen with that? Does that mean anything? Or maybe it's just I focused in on that instead.
Because we all know that contracts really need to be signed in pro wrestling for matches to happen.
Exact. Thank you, Michaels. I thought the same thing, but I thought it was interesting that it was quite apparent that she did not sign the contract. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be signed by the time next Friday rolls around. But anyways, so that was pretty much that. The one thing that I will say is the main event, Roman Reigns in Braun Strowman Universal Championship. I actually did enjoy this match. I didn't think I was 100% going to enjoy it. I knew it would be entertaining. Their matches often are great, but I actually enjoyed it. And I enjoyed that Roman actually basically incapacitated Braun Strowman. That is the thing.
It was a pretty good move. I like that move.
I was actually excited. I hope that is now part of his repertoire moving forward. I know I said repertoire pretty bad, but I thought it was great. I think it was good. I'm liking this new Roman Reigns and the going in deep with changing up his moveset a little bit. Of course, he's met obviously with his brother, his cousin brother, like I said, comes out and Roman Reigns has a chair and he begins to just pummel on or proceeded to ready to pummel on Braun Strowman. And it's interesting how this is developing, because I spoke last week and I was wondering, I said that I think eventually what is going to happen is, Jay is eventually going to conform and recognize him as his tribal chief. I feel that after seeing this end of SmackDown, I feel like that's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I feel that's going to happen. I feel like he is going to be the stubborn one that eventually will falls in line and say, you are the tribal chief. The only interesting thing is I heard a bunch of reports before SmackDown, and maybe YouTube TV missed it or what, because I did not watch it on Friday. I watched it on Saturday morning. Wasn't Goldberg supposed to be on SmackDown?
He was. He was in the Thunderdome in the audience.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what they've been. Yeah, they started that this week for the premiere. Who knows if they'll continue with that? But
okay.
Which, if they were smart, they'd use that at some point to develop an angle, and that's all I'll say. I think it'll be brilliant.
I hope so.
Wait. Let's call your bullshit on this right now, because that's what you do. Well, they could use this at some point to develop an angle. Fast forward 5 months when they use that for an angle. See, I said they would.
Tally it up, motherfucker.
Open-ended fucking statements. You don't know.
You know what's funny is I actually said this exact statement a while ago, if you remember, but you don't, because you're always trying to knock the king.
No, because you're always
to the kingdom.
Because you're making it up as it goes. You didn't say shit about it. What was mentioned was the fact that the Retribution should be using that. That was something I said.
It was before that.
Yeah, fuck off.
So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen,
whatever.
That was SmackDown. I felt that it was a pretty sound show. It met the expectation of, I think, all of us. It wasn't over the top amazing, but it wasn't horrible at all. I felt like they kept a decent stride, just my opinion. And that was pretty much it. I don't know if we give grades or scores, but I would give it on a scale.
No, we don't give grades.
Perfect.
I would give Matt Michaels Schlong a grade of 0 as the inches that it includes to be able to pleasure any situation. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not on mute no more? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord. All right. Is there anybody else want to say anything about SmackDown?
That's it, man.
Okay. How about you, Sensei? Did you?
Just the stuff after the championship match was just chef's kiss. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just to mention Hell in a Cell, that will take place this upcoming weekend. And all I can find is 3 confirmed matches, right? Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE. And although we didn't get a signed contract, Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's the confirmed. And I guess the one with Asuka, right? And then Lana. I guess we're gonna have that. So is that it?
Is that a match?
Is that really a match? I don't even know if that's really a match. And I mean,
can that be in Hell in a Cell, please?
It's not going to be a Hell in a Cell. That's the problem. That's the match that's not in a Hell in a Cell.
But that's the only thing.
It's the go home week. So you get everything this week.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, you would think you will have a little bit more of a build up matches when you're within that week of the show, but
it's WWE. They don't need to announce anything.
They might announce the matches. They might announce the matches during the pre-show, baby.
Of course.
But what you're forgetting is they just changed all the fucking rosters.
There you go.
They did.
So that's why you don't have a fucking lineup.
That's true.
That's the biggest reason.
No doubt.
Well, I'm pretty sure Monday night you're going to see Stephanie and Triple H come back out. I'm just wondering, and doing the same they did on SmackDown. Just saying.
All right, for all you guys who have our app, thank you for downloading it, and we hope this Sunday review that either all of us or a few of us may jump on and live chat with us during the pay-per-view for Hell in a Cell. All right, so if you do, right when it comes on, just jump right on and you'll get the notifications as well. With that, fellas, that is our wrestling talk. We thank everybody for hanging out in the chat. And with that, we will see you next week. All right, peace.